Okay, let's dive into one of the most important financial decades of your entire life, your late 30s and 40s. Now, this is the time when your income is probably peaking, which is great, but it's also when these hidden financial traps, and here's the key, they're often disguised as success, can quietly, completely derail your future. So, let's get right into it.
I mean, just let that sink in for a second. This quote tells you everything. This guy makes more money than his father ever dreamed of. He's got the Tesla, he takes the family to Hawaii. On the surface, he has absolutely made it. But he is trapped. Between the mortgage, the car payments, the childcare, every single dollar has a job before it even hits his bank account. He's built himself this beautiful, but very, very expensive cage.
And that's the real kicker here. This is what makes it so dangerous. The decisions that lock you into this cage, they don't feel like mistakes when you're making them. Nope. They feel like accomplishments. Buying that big house, leasing the luxury car, getting your kids into the best schools. These are the things you're told you're supposed to do when you're successful. But they all come with this massive hidden cost, and it's a cost that you pay with your freedom.
So how does this actually happen? To really get it, we need to talk about this invisible mechanism at play. It's called the lifestyle ratchet. And trust me, it's a super powerful concept that explains exactly how we get so financially stuck. Okay, think about a ratchet wrench, the kind you use to tighten a bolt. It clicks forward, tightens, clicks forward, tightens, but it will not go backward. Well, your lifestyle works the exact same way. Every single time you upgrade, the bigger house, the nicer car, the better vacation, that mechanism clicks forward. And trying to reverse that decision, say by downsizing your house, man, that feels like a personal failure. So you don't. You just keep tightening that bolt, click by click, until you can barely breathe.
So this lifestyle ratchet, this one-way street of upgrades, it enables 4 specific traps that quietly, invisibly build the bars of your own financial cage. Let's break them down one by one. All right, trap number 1, you start mistaking your income for actual wealth. This happens all the time. Your income spikes and you think, I've made it. But what's really happening is your revenue went up, not necessarily your financial runway. I mean, take the story of this hedge fund analyst. He's making $240,000 a year, but he's only got $35,000 invested. He immediately buys a house at the absolute top of his budget, fills it with fancy furniture, and leases a luxury SUV. His income literally doubled, but his savings rate actually got worse. He gained a lifestyle share, but he lost his options. And this right here shows you the result. A study by the American Psychological Association found something wild. People earning over $200,000 a year report almost the exact same level of financial stress as those earning $75,000. Now, it's not that the money doesn't help, it's that the ratchet clicked. Their lifestyle just expanded to eat up that new income. And now they're just running the same stressful race, but on a much more expensive track.
Look, after grinding for 15, maybe 20 years, you're tired. You just want an easier, more comfortable life, right? So you start making choices that optimize for right now. The heated seats, the bigger kitchen, paying for lawn service. But what we often don't see is that this usually comes at the direct expense of our future flexibility. Things like the ability to change careers or, retire early. So let's look at this tale of 2 brothers. They're both software engineers, and they're both making a great living, $160,000 a year each. Now, brother A, he does what you're supposed to do. He buys the big house in the suburbs and finances 2 brand new cars. Brother B, though, he takes a totally different path. He rents a smaller place and buys a used Camry with cash. 2 very different approaches.
Okay, fast forward 5 years and look at how this plays out. Brother A has some home equity, sure, but it's not cash in his pocket. It's tied up. He's basically cash poor. Meanwhile, Brother B, by investing all the money he was saving on housing and cars, has a liquid net worth that's cash and investments of over $250,000. So who has more freedom? Brother B can literally quit his job and live for 3 years without even touching his retirement. He bought himself time. Brother A bought comfort, and, well, comfort comes with a hefty payment plan. Okay, this next trap is really subtle. It's not just about your monthly bills. It's about taking on these huge, long-term commitments that permanently raise what we call your financial floor. That's the absolute bare minimum you need to survive each month. I mean, think about it like this. You buy a bigger house with a mother-in-law suite for a future you might need, which instantly adds, say, $900 to your monthly burn rate forever. You co-sign a loan for your brother-in-law, tying up your own credit. You enroll your kids in private school, locking yourself into a $36,000 a year expense for the next decade.
Each one of these decisions, often made with the absolute best intentions, just adds another heavy weight to this machine that you have to keep running no matter what. And this right here, this leads us to what might be the most dangerous trap of all: normalization. You just look around at your friends and neighbors, and everyone has the big mortgage, the car payments, the expensive travel sports for their kids. It just seems normal. It seems like the standard price of admission to middle-class adult life, so you never even stop to question it.
But here's the thing you gotta remember. Normal is not the same as optimal, not even close. You know what's normal? A median household savings rate of just 5%. At that rate, a family making $120,000 a year might end up with about $500,000 for retirement. But if they save 20%, which is totally doable with a lower overhead, they'd have over $2.2 million. The difference isn't just small, it's generational.
So let's actually quantify the real cost of some of these quote-unquote normal comforts. Because when you actually look at the numbers, the math is pretty brutal.
Let's just take a really typical example. An $800 a month payment for a nice car. Seems manageable, right? A lot of people can afford it. But what is the real cost?
So over the life of that loan, you've paid out nearly $58,000 in cash for that car. That's a huge sum of money. But believe it or not, that's still not the whole story. And here it is. This is the real cost, the gut punch. If you had just invested that $800 a month instead of sending it to the car company, it could have been worth $73,000 by the time that loan was paid off. So you see, you didn't just buy a car. You sold your future $73,000 for the right to drive something shiny today.
This slide shows the ultimate outcome. We've got two guys, both making $180,000 a year. Man A ratcheted up his lifestyle like crazy, and over 20 years, he'll accumulate less than $500,000. Man B kept his lifestyle pretty much the same and just invested the difference. He's going to end up with nearly $2.4 million. That's the same income, but 5 times the wealth. The only difference was the ratchet.
Okay, that was a lot, and it might feel a little grim, but here's the good news. You can escape this. It is totally possible. You can actually learn to click that ratchet backward. And here's the simple 3-step plan to get you started.
First, you need to calculate your burn rate. Add up every single contractual obligation you have. Mortgage, car payment, loans, everything. If it's over 60% of your take-home pay, you're in the danger zone. Second, eliminate just one of those obligations in the next 90 days. Sell the boat, downsize the car, whatever it is. You need to prove to yourself that it can be done. And third, automate your savings. Aim for 20% of your gross income and have it automatically transferred the very day you get paid. You have to pay your future self first.
When it's all said and done, it really boils down to this simple idea. The moment your ego requires you to look successful, you've already lost. Because looking successful is ridiculously expensive. You know what? Being truly successful is quiet. The guy driving the 15-year-old Camry with $2 million in index funds is infinitely richer than the guy in the Range Rover with 6 figures of debt. The real flex is not needing to flex at all.
So I'll just leave you with this final thought to chew on. What's actually more extreme? Living below your means for 10 years so you can have total freedom and options for the next 30, or living right at your means for 30 years only to get to the end and realize you have no options at all. The choice is yours to make, and the absolute best time to make it is right now.